This, guys, is one of the many reasons that you prepare. Major storm damage last night here at the property that I patrol. This would be considered, as bad as it is, would be considered minor. The main structures and things like that, the house, things like that, perfectly fine. There is no electricity out here, though. As you can see, the wires are down. And I don't know if you can hear, but in the background, a generator's running. That's why it's good to have one. But this is one of the many reasons that you're prepared. You know, we always talk about shit hits the fan. That can come in many forms, guys. This is one of them, and the most likely scenario that you will face. Storm damage of some type, tornadoes, hurricanes, blizzards, flooding, things like that. Those are all things you must prepare for. And to think about this too, though, is that, like, say if we were in a bugged out location right now, what if we the real shit went down? You know, grid down the whole thing. And something like this happens, you just have to deal with that. That's a very realistic and likely scenario to happen. If you're actually at your bug out location, you can't control the weather. God does, and whatever happens, you know. So that's something you need to take into consideration as you are on a bug out location. Where are you going to go? What if there is a tornado? You know, I mean, if you don't have a tornado shelter or things like that, I mean, how, and plus if it's like total grid down, how you gonna know one's coming? You know, I mean, you can see them in the daytime, but this how it happened at night. And there's a, you know, you can't see a tornado at night unless it's lightning a lot, or if it's rain wrapped. Even in the daytime, you can't see it. That's what we suspect happened here. Very small tornado, but a small tornado nonetheless can do a lot of damage. That's going to get re-roofed. You know, that barn is probably 85 years old now. So it's going to end up getting re-roofed. And it's interesting to see it for the first time because of all the years I grew up on this place. All the years of, you know, I'm 55 now. All the storms that we've dealt with. This is the worst that we've ever had it out here for us. Let's take a look around. Well, as you can see, a lot of barn tin right here. The barn, the little shed that was out here that was already kind of halfway gone is now gone. I'll show that to you in a minute. But at the same time, what I see besides the damage, some of this stuff is resources I can take down there now that it's already down. I can take down there and make some kind of like shelter type thing using this stuff, you know. But nonetheless, you know, I got farm equipment here actually turned over. So that's heavy. That we had 80, 90 mile an hour winds here. But we were also in tornado warnings, so we do suspect that it was probably a small tornado. That had to be a small tornado. Turning that farm equipment over like that shit's heavy. But this is why you prepare, guys. This is why you do it. Not too much storm damage at my place or in the town that I saw, but I live 7 miles north of here, so it's not too far away, but here, south, and east of us, from here on, about 15 miles away, got pretty good storm damage and everything. So here was that one little pole barn, little cow. They got in here and kept out of the sun sometimes. And that thing has been standing here ever since I was a little kid. It is now gone. This is actually the second one. There used to be another one over there, and it was gone a long time ago from another tornado. So, but it didn't do anything else. It didn't do anything else to the house or something. All it did was knock over a couple of big trees along a fence line here, and then that barn was gone. But other than that, this one right here has been here ever since I was a little kid. It's probably at least 80 years old, at least 75, 80. Some good old wood though. But guys, this is what I'm talking about. You know, this is why we do a lot of what we do. It's not just for Armageddon, you know, or, you know, grid down, shit hits the fan like that. Many of you know that watch this video have been in situations way worse than this. Tornadoes, hurricanes, things like that. And where there has been extreme damage to your locations and power out for weeks at a time, sometimes longer. And you can't rely on them to come help just you. They're trying to help the whole infrastructure whenever they're putting stuff back together. You have to rely on yourself and things like that. So that's why we say prepare. This is one of the many reasons you do that. It's not about just walking out here with a gun and checking your property, which is what I do a lot, you know, but it's also putting stuff back, you know, putting back food and supplies and medical supplies and water and things you may need, medicines. You know, it's always good to have a supply of medicines on you, you know, extra if you can get away with it, of things, you know, just antibiotics, your normal daily medications that you take, in case you can't get to get a prescription filled, things like that. So, but that's why you do it, you know. That's why you do it. Some considerations to think about in a situation like this. All this debris, almost every piece of wood I see around here has got a nail sticking out of it. Watch your feet, have good footwear. Electric lines down. Currently there is no power out here, but when it does get turned back on and whatever is connected to this, they may become active. So stay away from down power lines, period. Doesn't matter if they're on or not. Stay away from them. They'll kill you like that. If you're fortunate enough to have a generator, then that's good. You know, some of your stock that you have backed up, it's got some water. If you don't, have a way to purify maybe said water. Maybe you still have some running water, things like that. But some things to consider, you know. But yes, that's why we stress this stuff. It's to be prepared. Be prepared to take care of yourself, your family, your kids, your grandkids, all that. Be prepared to take care of them, even if it's just a temporary thing. Which this will be temporary, of course. And it'll get cleaned up. The barn will be re-roofed. But guys, this is very minor compared to like other things that's happened. We've seen cities leveled, towns, small towns here in Oklahoma and other towns, small towns, pretty much just wiped off the face of the earth. and they become ghost towns. There's a lot of them around here that happened a long time ago, and they're just towns that are dead. There's like nobody there. But you can see where structures were at one time, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, things like that. And I'm sure you're, familiar with that. There's a lot of towns that are no longer existing because of stuff like this. But that's why we stress a lot of this stuff. This is not just preparedness. Is not just for grid down, shit hits the fan, the government's coming, Chinese are invading. It's not just about that. It's not just about that, although those are scenarios to prepare for. But the most likely scenario, like I've said, and others have said, are storms. That's going to happen, and it happens everywhere. We see it every year, and it hits different places. And a lot of times with major destruction, where people are without power and things like that for weeks at a time, maybe even having to bug out of their location, to force to leave, also. But that's also something else to consider, though. If you're not forced to leave, which you shouldn't be anyway, it should be up to your individual decision. There's looters. You see looters. You see looting happen all the time. If you loot, you get the shooty shoot. That's kind of the thing. But that's one reason that you defend yourself. You have your firearms and things ready to protect your property. Because some of the stuff that may be laying around, you don't want somebody to get. There may be things in there that you can't get to, but you don't want anybody else to start digging around in there. And also, if they come on your property looting and they get hurt, guess who's liable? But that's the thing. If you loot, you get to shoot, But yeah, defending your property, defending your valuables, what you can get left out of it, is a big thing. So yeah, and that's one reason I'd hate to have to be forced to leave, because I don't even know what those, what National Guard or police, you don't trust them either, So, but anyway, this is it, guys. It's going to be just some shit happened here. It looks like hell, but it'll be okay. And everybody, the main thing is about this stuff is that you want to make sure your family and your loved ones, everybody's okay and not injured or worse. And when something like this does happen, is that you want to be able to take care of them with some food, some water, some type of shelter, things like that. And so, yeah. Anyway, pretty crazy. Very mild here, though. But yes, we got something. So, yep. Anyway, keep it heavy.